The hunt for October. Tonight, they turn to a familiar face on the mound, who has been his old self since coming off the DL and looks to keep his team in the playoff chase with yet another win. The Bucks and Cards are next.
He struck him out! Clear the deck! Cannonball coming!
We're coming away from beautiful PNC Park on a beautiful night for baseball in the Berg, as the Pirates host the Cardinals' middle game of the three-game series, the red-hot Pittsburgh Pirates. Fans excited about it. Why not? Pirates have won 15 of their last 19 games. They're now 4 over 500. Current standings, 7 back of the Cubs, who won earlier today, just 4 back of the Braves for the second wild card in the National League. Greg Brown along with Steve Blass and Robbie Ince-Mikowski, and we take a look at what the Pirates did last night. That offense keeps clicking. The Pirates won again 7-6, and right in the middle of it was catcher Francisco Cervelli last night. He's driven in a run in 4 straight games, Steve, hitting .368 on the homestand. But Leos Diaz crushes left-handed pitching. You got a lefty going for the Cardinals, so what do you do if you're Clint Hurdle?
Well, you play Cervelli at first base.
That makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it? Yeah, he'll make his first start at first base this season. Tonight, it'll be start number 7 in his career at that position. He's not thrilled with playing over there, but you got to have that bat in there.
Absolutely, and it's going to be interesting watching him because there's a lot of responsibilities at first base. Always busy as a catcher, but he's got relays, he's got bunts, he's got different throws to make, and so it's going to be interesting to watch how he does defensively. He just got to make sure he doesn't stop at home plate without any equipment as he makes his way to first base.
Adam Frazier was 3 for 5 last night. Big RBI single that really won it in the 8th inning, and he's just been red hot. So Adam Frazier, he's in the lineup, and why not, even though it's a left-hander on the mound?
Absolutely, and you know, he came up on July, I think 25th. He has not stopped hitting since then. That first appearance, he had 2 doubles coming in late in the ball game. He has just been on fire, and that's been a big part of this continuing surge for the Pirates.
And Corey Dickerson is back. He's not in the starting lineup, but he is second in the league in hitting. He's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he is the Pirates left fielder, and he will be out there when he's ready. As hot as Frazier has been, this guy has been absolutely terrific. So we look forward to the return of Corey Dickerson.
The Pirates and the Cardinals playing game 2 of the 3-game series. Big crowd last night. Expect an even bigger crowd tonight on a Saturday night in Pittsburgh. Pirates Cardinals coming up next.
by the law firm of Bordas & Bordas. Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice. Let's go Bucks!
Ivan Nova moments ago leaving the dugout and heading to the mound for the 21st time this season. He has been much better since coming back off the disabled list. We'll talk about Ivan Nova, his 2018 season, as he gets ready to take on the St. Louis Cardinals for the first time this year. Corey Dickerson is on the bench tonight, so he'll be available to pinch hit, double switch, whatever. But he's off the disabled list, had that hamstring tightness, and so he is ready to go, as is Ivan Nova, a 31-year-old veteran. And we'll check out the Cardinals lineup. Mike Schild is the manager these days. Matt Carpenter homered last night, 23rd career leadoff dinger for the veteran infielder. Yadier Molina will hit second. Then it's Paul DeYoung at short with Marcell Osuna in left. Tyler O'Neill, the rookie right fielder. Jed Jerko plays third. Colton Wong comes off the disabled list today and is at second base. Harrison Bader, rookie center fielder. Austin Gomber on the mound. There's Schild, who replaced Mike Matheny last month. And here's Ivan Nova.
His overall number 6-6 with a 4.33 ERA, but Greg mentioned he's been much better recently. His last 4 starts, a couple of wins and a couple of no decisions. So he might be rounding back into form. And well, you go at this part of the season, Greg, it's important that every starter does as much as he possibly can, even though it seems like our bullpen is getting stronger and stronger. So he will make his 5th career start against the Redbirds, 1 and 2 in the first 4.
And the Honda defense, there he is, Francisco Cervelli, 7th career start at first base, his first since April of 2016. Josh Harrison is at second, Jordy Mercer and David Freese on the left side. Adam Frazier, Starling Marte, Gregory Polanco in the outfield left to right, and Elias Diaz catches. And our Honda defense spotlighting Francisco Cervelli. Oh, Elias Diaz looking
that is sparkling,
stylish.
Wow. Even the armbands, the flow.
Can't miss them.
Yep. By the way, Cervelli, so many things we're talking about responsibility. It's going to be interesting to see him making decisions as to how far to go off first base and then get back or stay, or should you stay or should you go to go get ground balls towards second.
First pitch, ball 1 on Carpenter.
First things first, let's get on the other side of this guy in the first inning.
The third pitch of the game last night, a 2-0 pitch from Chris Archer. He homered with the right center field fence. 8th leadoff homer of the year for him. He couldn't hold his swing. And the appeal to Will Little, or Lance Barksdale, correction.
And old dinosaur that I am, Greg, I always like to look at Matt Carpenter and look at the fact that he does not wear batting gloves. So he doesn't have to step out and adjust the straps and all that sort of thing.
He is old school. 2-1 on Carpenter. So we introduced you to Lance Barksdale. Ted Barrett is the crew chief behind home plate. Will Little is at first. Ben May at second. And Barksdale, who was behind the plate last night, is at third. 2-2.
It's a off speed pitch, takes a little off the fastball and has Matt out in front.
No, but 1-2 in 4 career starts against the Redbirds. All of those starts came last year.
Yeah, he got the win in that first, the inaugural Little League Classic.
Hit to right. And look at this. He's back at it again. Heading hard into second base with a double. On the 2-2 pitch, Carpenter leads off with a double.
Well, he kept him in the ballpark. Working him away most of the at bat, and then comes downstairs, and Carpenter just turns on it. And it got a little interesting at second base as Polanco hustled over there and made a strong throw just a little bit late. And Carpenter looking at the whole thing, realizing he has to turn on the jets, and he's full throttle getting in there, and doesn't make it by much, but he makes it.
And it's ball 1 on Yadier Molina, who was 1 for 6 last night.
Wonder what he thinks of that get up that Diaz has on.
Probably jealous.
Of course.
And now 2-0 on Yadier Molina. There's Chris Archer. We will talk to Archer at the bottom of the third inning tonight about his Pirates debut. Fired up crowd. He didn't pitch as well as he would have liked, but as he said, hey, we got the win.
You know, when you think about that, Greg, that's exactly what you want him to say, and you want him to believe that and feel that. And so far, he's been very consistent in that direction about thinking about the Pirates as a baseball team, not just the Chris Archer show. And, he's exactly right. The Pittsburgh Pirates won that baseball game.
And they've won 15 of their last 19. Nova is 4-1 since coming off the disabled list. Speaking of wins, he was on the DL from May 25th through June the 9th with a sprained ring finger on his right hand. And he's been much better, and the team. The team has gone 7. The Pirates has gone 7-2 with Nova on the mound since returning from the disabled list.
He's only had one bad start, that start against the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Other than that, he has been much better.
And he's trying to put Molina away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Molina, always a tough man to strike out. Archer got him in the 2nd inning last night, and in the 7th inning, Keone Kela struck him out for his first punch out as a Pirate reliever. Pirates are 6-5 against the Redbirds this season. And tried to get him to offer. Checked it. And the pick by Elias Diaz. Matt Carpenter leading off with a double to right. He's been an on-base machine this year. He came in 3rd in the league in on-base percentage, 2nd in slugging. That's his 33rd double to lead the National League.
Well, there's quite a contrast between that catcher's mitt and all that flash in back of home plate. Maybe the contrast is good, but it looks like a beacon, like a lighthouse.
Or somebody said the truck looks like a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Star Wars. Look at that.
I mean, that is quite spectacular.
I wonder if Cervelli's jealous.
He's got to be jealous. I mean, that's like a tuxedo for a catcher.
You usually say somebody is stylish yet understated. That's not understated.
No, it's not. Yeah. And I'm not sure how stylish it is either. But you can't miss it. Yeah, it's like he's going to a prom.
Wow, still battling Molina. 8 pitches into this at bat.
He's worked him all over the strike zone, on the edges, on the corners, and half the battle is putting a lid on him at bat, and this is a challenge.
Paul DeYoung awaits his chance on deck.
You get to the point out there, you're standing out there, all right, what do I want to try now? Try that? No, he's already seen 2 or 3 of those. No, try now the other thing. Well, here we go.
And he ends up walking him on 9 pitches. That's really frustrating. You spend all that time trying to figure him out, and you end up walking him.
Yeah, you know, if you know that up front, okay, let's take 4 pitches if that's going to happen. If you know that. And with the analytics now, maybe they did know that beforehand. They should have told him. Save some pitches.
It was 1st and 2nd. And now Paul DeYoung, who was 1 out of 4 last night. Strike is called. Ted Barrett barks out the strike call to Paul DeYoung. 9 homers, 27 runs batted in.
There's that first inning ground ball at somebody right now. That would be quite nice.
The scary part about all this is that at some point the Cardinals are going to cash in. Yeah, they scored 6 runs last night on 15 hits, but they could have scored a dozen, and that's not an exaggeration. They left 16 men on base. Now, Paul DeJong singled with Carpenter at second base last night in the 7th inning with 2 outs, but Carpenter was thrown out at the plate on a great throw from Gregory Polanco. And a nice sliding stop. Well done, David Freese.
Oh, is that a saver right there? We're in a whole big hot mess. Got the lead runner, and that is a big play. You don't always get these, and presence of mind, okay, let me take what's available. Let me get the out, and we'll start all over again with the next guy.
David Freese, nice sliding stop to get DeJong. Carpenter erased. 1 out. Now Marcell Ozuna. 1 for 5 last night. Was also hit by a pitch.
Okay, what you got here is a guy going to the prom, and then a guy with a neon
Look at those colors.
green. Yeah, this is a
Really got it all.
kaleidoscope.
Yeah. Ozuna and Diaz together. Quite a combo.
And then the voice of reason in back of both of them, Ted Barrett.
One and one on Ozuna,
who had a very difficult night last night in so many ways. Got hit by the pitch, a couple funny looking throws. Got caught with that fly ball that Marte couldn't get. Wasn't it Ozuna that got caught?
Tyler O'Neill hit the fly ball, and Ozuna headed to third, unaware. Paul DeJong had stopped there. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ozuna. First year with the Cardinals. 2-1. Big trade acquisition over the winter by St. Louis. They sent 4 minor leaguers to the Marlins. Now we're just hearing that Tyler O'Neill was scratched moments before first pitch. That is Jose Martinez on deck. And now it's 3-1 on Ozuna. Well, Mike Schild had been the bench coach under Mike Matheny, taking over as the skipper of these St. Louis Cardinals. And since he took over July the 15th, the Redbirds are 9-8. And a fly ball to Starling Marte. And a big second out. So Tyler O'Neill was scratched with an injury before the game, and last night Dexter Fowler, as we check out our Allegheny Health Network injury update, fouls the ball off his back foot and stayed in the game. And this was later trying to run on the base pass, and eventually had to be helped off the field. So Dexter Fowler goes on the disabled list, and Colton Wong activated off the DL. Fowler hitting just a $180. And now we learn that Tyler O'Neill unable to go tonight. So here is Jose Martinez.
And he brings good numbers to the plate. 293, 13 home runs, 69 RBIs.
Runner takes off for third, and look at the wily veteran. Molina figures, all right, they're going to give me third, I'll take it. Now, Paul DeJong didn't follow.
Just a spur of the moment decision, I guess, for Mr. Molina. Yeah, he's off. He's guessing that Nova has disregarded him and made his commitment to go to home plate, and just strolls on over to third base.
4 steals for Molina this season in 5 attempts.
Probably a lot of them that particular style.
Again, it doesn't hurt all that much because DeYoung still at first. 1-0 on Jose Martinez. (2-0) on the offensive-minded first baseman. Martinez 1 for 8 in his career against Ivan Nova. (2-0) the count, with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Nova gave up the leadoff double to Carpenter, a 9-pitch walk to Molina, then the ground out and the fly out. And it's 2-1.
Well, Archer didn't throw as many pitches, I don't think, in the first inning, but he labored in the first couple innings, first 3 innings, throwing a bunch of pitches. And you don't want to wind up having to use 5 relievers again tonight. Chris Archer, the day after, he's probably somewhat relieved. He's on the other side of everything. Tend to business, more business-like atmosphere next start, which would be on the road.
Line to left, coming on. Frazier makes the tumbling catch. Frazier goes down to get it. And 2 left on. Ivan Nova works around it.
A big, big, big play.
And he'll lead off the bottom of the first. He will be leading things off for Pittsburgh. RAV4 starting lineup. Starling Marte will follow. He's hitting .370 since the 4th of July. That's the 3rd best mark in the majors. Gregory Polanco has been sizzling in right. David Freese also hot hitting at third base. Francisco Cervelli, that started first. Elias Diaz behind the dish. Then it's Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and Ivan Nova. Facing the lefty, Austin Gomber.
24-year-old left-hander out of Winter Garden, Florida. 6'5", 230 pounds. It's the hook over. Most of his work out of the bullpen. This is start number 2. Made his major league debut out of the pen against the Pirates.
Frazier going to be retired as Carpenter handles that easy ground ball. Harrison Bader is getting the start in center field with Marcel Osuna in left, and Jose Martinez, a late addition to the lineup, is in right. Jed Jerko, Paul DeYoung on the left side of the infield, Colton Wong, Matt Carpenter on the right side. Yadier Molina catches Gomber. Colton Wong off the DL today.
You know, it's interesting, Greg, when you see Frazier and Dickerson with a hamstring injury, anytime you can give them a little extra time, it's good. And with Frazier so hot, I wonder if that worked into the decision to have
absolutely. I think no
Frazier
question.
stay out there, because you got that luxury with that hot bat, and that's always good. A hamstring is such a gray area when they're feeling good enough to play and they don't re-stretch it.
Glenn Hurdle talked about that Frazier, as hot as he has been, a little unorthodox to have a left-handed hitter against a lefty pitcher, and he strikes out Marte. And the splits would make you suggest that it would be a smart move to put lefty hitters in there against Gomber. They're hitting .286. He's limited right-handed batters to just a .128 average. But as the Mad Hungarian pointed out, Al Raboski, to us earlier today, that's a bit deceiving. He's gotten much better. He's been working on that cut fastball, Steve.
Yeah, when that cut fastball, that's a la Steve Carlton. When he started doing that, it was over. It just ties the right-handers up. By the way, I hope you had a chance to catch that shot that we had. This ballpark is almost full. There's some empty seats, but there's going to be a great crowd announced tonight, and that is so good following last night's win, last night's turnout.
1 ball, 1 strike now on Polanco.
There are people all over the place here. Look, isn't that grand? That is absolutely spectacular. Let's give them a win, just to say thank you for coming out. Just streaming across the bridge, coming out of the whatever they call it, goes under the river. the trolley that brings them over to PNC Park, just coming from all directions. On a perfect night for baseball.
Yeah. 1-2. Well, Polanco, 2-run triple in the first inning last night.
That's part of Diaz's outfit for catching, isn't it? The color of that bridge.
And he got him looking. So, Gomber retires the side in order. Head to the second. The young Buccaneers and the Cardinals playing game 2 of the 3-game series. And looky here.
That's not Diaz. Different outfit.
Yeah, apparently asked to change that equipment. A Point Park University tweet. Mike says, hey, Diaz looks like a white Power Ranger. Good call.
Well, the Power Ranger
no longer
is gone. Well, got that squared away. Then let's see if Nova has a 1-2-3 inning because of that.
Yeah. And you wonder who asked for the change. Could it have been Nova?
Maybe. He might have been blinded.
If he doesn't have a good inning, he'll ask him to put it back on again. Or maybe Marte. Trying to pick up the ball off the bat.
Player.
That white background, that can't be easy. Jed Jerko, 1-2 count on him. A couple of hits last night, drove in a couple of runs. Also drew a walk. And Nova gets him looking.
And gets the call. I like to get one every once in a while. Looking back, but happy about that, but one out in the second. Ball with a little movement down and in. Borderline. There it is. The debris.
Well, it didn't have a strikeout in it. It had a walk and a double.
That's right.
This has a strikeout.
That's debris.
And it's ripped to right by Colton Wong. Welcome back. Played it nicely, did Polanco. Strong throw and fairly close. One out double by Colton Wong.
A couple throws by Polanco, pretty much right on the money, making it interesting at second base for these two doubles. The ball gets out there quickly enough where if Polanco gets it quickly, and he does with that good bounce.
Well, that's a great throw.
See the motion too. He's almost turning as he picks up the ball to establish his throwing angle, and Jordy trying to kind of decoy him a little bit that there was nothing coming.
Harrison Bader showing bunt. Ball one.
He's going to bunt there to set up things for the pitcher. Well, bunting for a base hit. I don't know. Not sure about all that. If you get on the other side of Bader, then you can deal with Gomber and maybe prevent that double from hurting you.
Bader was a pinch hitter last night and grounded out. Well, he and Tyler O'Neill were going to get a lot more playing time anyway, with Tommy Pham being dealt before the deadline to the Tampa Bay Rays, and now with Dexter Fowler on the disabled list. Those two figure to get even more. However, Tyler O'Neill was scratched at game time with groin discomfort, so Jose Martinez starting in right for this game. And that's line to right. And Wong is held up at third, and now look at this. They've got Bader caught between first and second. Runner breaks for the plate. He got him. What a play! What a play by the Buccos! Polanco, Diaz, Mercer, Diaz. What a play!
And they kept track of things the whole time, and that's the key. They never forgot about the runner at third base, even though they were working the rundown.
They are not going to challenge. The throw was high, so high that Bader figured he could get second. On this throw to the plate, high throw.
See, they're keeping track, and they pull the trigger to home plate just in the nick of time, at the right time. So how about this action defensively at home plate for the Pirates last night and now tonight?
On the one hand, not a good throw from Polanco to the plate. It was high, no chance for the cutoff. On the other hand, Bader maybe a little late in trying to go to second. Great job by Mercer, Diaz.
Great coordination. Wow, that's a tricky play. You gotta wait till just the right moment to make your decision.
To the count. Bader talking there with Oliver Marmol. He probably should have been a little bit more aggressive making that turn at first base on that base hit, and then decided late to head to second. And the pitcher Gomber will ground out. Well done. 0-0.
We are family.
David Freese. Check out the Lowe's whole team together. The Pirates for the best batting average National League since July the 1st. 4 players in the top 10, including David Freese.
What a fun summer he's having.
Yeah.
You know, no pro deserves it. Good for him. I'm the reason we can't have nice things. That's the ultimate t-shirt. That says so much. That's pretty good.
Now we've got an equipment issue. Molina is going to need a new mitt.
Maybe they can have nice things by giving him Diaz's former catching equipment package.
Is he the reason Diaz can't have those?
Yeah,
the nice.
That's one of the reasons for a lot of things.
Freese, Cervelli, Diaz here in the second against Austin Gomber,
who was pretty impressive in the bottom of the first. 1, 2, 3 with 2 strikeouts. This is a young man, by the way, who took, I think, a no-hitter.
Yeah, 1 out
into the 7th inning against Cincinnati on July 24th.
In his first start in the big leagues. So Mike Maddox, the veteran pitching coach, quite pleased with that.
He does have 1 win, but that was in relief out of the Cardinal bullpen against the Rockies.
That came a day after the near no-hitter by another rookie. The previous day, I believe it was also against the Cincinnati Reds, Daniel Ponce de Leon. And this ball hit hard to right. Martinez back to the wall, and Mr. Freese goes oppo. Clear the deck. Cannonball coming, his 8th. 1-0 Buccos.
Old Pro does it again. His favorite direction, toward downtown. Yeah, he hit it downtown, toward downtown. He loves right field. He loves right center field. He can wait on pitches. I think he's about as good as anybody we've seen this year.
David Freese gives the Bucks a 1-0 lead with his 8th home run.
We thought that 21-foot high fence was just going to be good for left-hand hitters. There it is, right there on the outer part of the plate, and he just does not try to pull it. Hits it hard the opposite way and hits it far enough. His 8th and the 3rd that Gomber has given up.
Freeze hitting .364 against his former team this year. Discusses with Colin Moran and the former Redbird. Freeze, first 8 games of this homestand, hitting close to .440. Just foul. First baseman Francisco Cervelli.
I didn't keep track of him on that rundown, that play at home plate. I'm not sure where he was. He probably was all over the place. Where do I go now?
Directing traffic, maybe.
Yep. What's interesting, Greg, you don't see that many tag out plays at home plate. You see some forced plays where they stand there on home plate, but tag plays at home plate, I mean, it's just not that common a thing. And a couple of them last night, one tonight. It's fun to watch when your team defensively records outs at home plate. I mean, last night they were game savers.
And all 4 as Cervelli draws the walk. Then looks like Gomber a bit frustrated. Austin Gomber went to West Orange High School, Winter Garden, Florida, near Orlando.
There's just so many good people out of Winter Garden, Florida, aren't there?
Oh, I'll tell you.
Heard
Just a great area.
Yep, great things about that neighborhood.
They're probably watching right now, I think.
Yeah.
Members of the Brown family.
Yep, Brother Packer.
Yeah. And here is Elias Diaz catching tonight. Diaz, .286 average overall this season. And against left-handed pitching, hitting .386. Again, according to the Cardinals folks, follow this team. They say that Gomber's been much better in the splits department against the lefty hitters.
Yeah, if you can take a look at your screen now, that when he throws that cutter to the right-hander, right-hand batter, it starts in the middle of the plate and it gets in on the handle of the bat. And if you can do that really consistently as a left-hand pitcher, you can get a lot of broken bats and a lot of weak contact.
Hit hard but foul.
Wow, tried to come in there.
Man, he was ready for it.
Yep. I always remember when it was a big deal when Steve Carlton, who was a very good pitcher, started coming inside with that cutter to right-hand batters. Well, we get folks out maybe taking security detail for the regatta, perhaps, horseback.
And still 1-2 on the Pirates catcher. Elias Diaz, he and Francisco Cervelli in quite a combination behind the plate, but this is the first time that they have both started in the same game. Thinking Cervelli might be on the move at some point.
Yeah, take a look at that. Cervelli, Diaz hitting back to back. The two catchers. The textbook stop by future Hall of Famer Yadier Molina. I don't think it's really a stretch to say that.
No, that's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
That's a gimme putt.
He's been good for so long.
He is an automatic Hall of Famer. 2-2. And now it's a full count.
You know, Greg, I'll never forget when Mike Matheny first took over the job as manager for the Cardinals. I had a chance to do an interview, and I said, well, isn't it great to have Albert Pujols on your ball club? I mean, he's just such a presence. He said, but make no mistake about it, the heart and soul of this Cardinal team is that man right there, Yadier Molina, and he was emphatic about it.
And that was, 7 years ago you're talking.
Yep.
Full count. And hanging in there is Elias Diaz. What a job he has done behind the plate, but maybe especially offensively.
Oh, Greg, we waited a long time for him. First of all, it was a matter of him maybe not being able to hit in the big leagues, had the great arm, and then had some injuries. But he is here, and it looks like he belongs in the big leagues.
Yeah, he's 27 years old, so he's been around a while, but this is his first full season in the majors.
Looks like he is right exactly where he wants to be.
And a fly ball to shallow left. Shortstop DeYoung out. Oh,
long way.
Sure did.
There's Ozuna out there again. We're wondering about his defensive abilities, even though he is a Gold Glover. But we've seen him struggle.
Yeah, he may just do great things against other teams, but against the Pirates, you shake your head when you think about him as a Gold Glover. It's just incredible.
Yeah, he was never going to get to that role.
Well, DeYoung went way out there. Well, Cervelli still at first with one out. Leadoff home run by David Freese. Here's Josh Harrison. Jay Hay, a couple of hits in last night's game, drove in a run, scored a run, and he's starting in back-to-back games. That's good to see. He had made just a couple of starts in a 5-game stretch. Jay Hay, 7 hits and 23 at-bats, 6 RBIs in the games that he has played, since missing 3 straight with that left hamstring tightness. They didn't put him on the DL. They used the All-Star break. But no disabled list. Christopher Bostic was sent back down to the minor leagues this afternoon, with Corey Dickerson being activated. 2 balls and a strike. The rookie Austin Gomber. That's hit well toward left field. Ozuna is over, won't get to that one. And the Cardinals get a break, and then it bounces onto the track and over the wall for a book rule double. So Cervelli will have to hold at third, and it's second and third.
Yep, and Josh just got a turn on that one, and it just kept hooking away from Ozuna, and yep, the big bounce holds everybody at third and second. Goes down and gets that and just hooked it completely away from Ozuna. Left fielder looking for a bounce, but not getting one, unfortunately.
And they're going to walk Mercer intentionally, which makes all the sense in the world if you've watched Ivan Nova struggle at the plate. He finally ended his long drought a couple starts back, but still just 1 for 40 this season.
I'm going to take over as hitting coach for Jeff Branson right here. Look for a fastball and swing as hard as you can.
All right.
With apologies to Jeff. He's been doing just fine recently, by the way. Good.
Well,
okay, that's all right.
Take your advice.
Sometimes it just doesn't happen. You know what, Yvonne? Try it again.
Yeah, why stop there?
Everybody else guesses.
Yep.
Supernova. When he's right, he is.
So didn't get the fastball first pitch, does that one, and it's 0-2, and as Pirate starters.
You don't make fun of your fellow starter, Joe. It is amusing to watch guys that don't have great hitting abilities go up there to the plate. And there's a fraternity of starters. I mean, they can get on each other, and it happens unmercifully because they're friends, and then the respect is already built in. So that's never an issue. They can get after each other pretty good, and it's healthy.
Well, Nova is the second out, third K for Gomber, and it'll be up to Adam Frazier. And will take his sweet old time. Andy Van Slyke bobblehead's given away to the first 20,000 fans tonight. Van Slyke threw out the first pitch, the former Gold Glove All-Star with the Pirates, and of course was originally a Cardinal. Pirates traded for Van Slyke April 1st, 1987.
April Fool's Day with LaValliere and what?
Mike Dunn.
Mike Dunn, yep.
Tony Pena went from the Pirates to the Cardinals in that blockbuster deal.
I always remember that day. Hey, get away. It's April Fool's Day. Don't kid with us. It was real.
Well, Frazier grounded out to Carpenter to start the bottom of the first.
Nobody remembers Mike Dunn all that much, although he did some good work for the Pirates. But he was one of those guys, Greg, that was a newspaper guy. He would get like 5, 6 newspapers every day.
Read them all
on the road. Yep, that was his deal.
Wow, gracious strike call, 0-2.
Very gracious. Well, Nova got one.
Gomber attended Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida. A 4th round pick.
Probably pretty nice looking campus.
Wow. Haven't seen that very often with Frazier. Late and bad decision to swing at that pitch, but David Freese led off this second with his opposite field home run, his 8th of the year, and the Pirates are on the board 1-0.
In the early 90s, I'm Robbie, it's Mikowski, and he had a fantastic night tonight. He threw out the first pitch. He signed autographs, fans like signs. There were he signed autographs as special guest on Federal Street, the pregame block party, signed a bunch of autographs, and throughout the ceremonial first pitch, bounced it just a little bit, but that's okay. A fantastic career, though, for Andy Van Slyke. And Greg and Steve, you guys were here to watch it all. 8 years with the Pirates from the late 80s into the early and mid-90s. 3-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove winner, 2-time Silver Slugger, 283 career hitter in a Pirates uniform. Fantastic stuff. He's hanging out with his family here tonight and certainly got a loud ovation before the game when he threw out that first pitch, gentlemen.
He could play it out there in center field. I know that. He could flat out play it.
Andy Van Slyke won 5 straight Gold Gloves.
How about him and Bill Burton having the same number?
Yeah, that's cool.
And could play it
Yep.
out there in center field.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of mutual respect between those two.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Yvonne, you got your run. Let's just shut him out the rest of the way.
I don't think Van Slyke ever wore batting gloves, did he? I'm sure he didn't.
That's okay. I'm not sure. So you're right, and I can't look it up.
And now does not get that call. 3-1.
I think it was last start when Nova really got frustrated on 2 or 3 calls, and he didn't have his greatest outing. Felt like he got squeezed and misses badly there.
Second walk. Van Slyke, did he wear batting gloves? Nope.
No, you got it, Greg.
Andy Van Slyke, some of his highlights at Three River Stadium. That was off of John Smiley. Great catch at Wrigley. He could go get it.
I still think his best catch came in Montreal when he went flat.
Oh yeah.
It's the way they have the bobblehead configured
on the turf.
Flat out. I mean, he was just
Stadium.
Parallel with the turf. Yeah.
Now Molina, who walked on 9 pitches in the first inning.
Andy, I remember Andy doing the weather on one of the stations in Pittsburgh one night. It didn't go well, but he gave it a shot. And you know what? As a weather, well, you don't want to get into discussions about weathermen.
Why is that?
Because they do a great job.
Sure they do. Better than our guys, our amateurs. No disrespect, John Wayner, but
You weren't talking about anybody you know, John Wayne, were you?
no. Scott Harbaugh from WPXI has invited John to stop by the studios. John's going to take him up on that. We might have another.
If he does that, I will buy a ticket, and I will be there to cheer.
Right.
I'd like to get a chance to introduce him.
And still 0-2 on Molina.
Well, let's hope this at bat is a little more brisk than the first one, which was 2 handfuls of pitches. Is John in the
I don't think not
Chick-fil-A
tonight.
outfit?
I don't think so. Although the fact that the cow looked our way makes you
Could
think
be,
maybe
yeah,
he is.
yeah. Great to see you, John. Appreciate you.
Stoic John. Look at that.
Yep.
Studying the game.
The student.
Nova 6-6 on the year in his first 20 starts this season. Has really enjoyed his time with the Pirates, especially when he's pitching here in this ballpark. A 3.15 ERA and 9 starts this year. And for his career at PNC Park, a 2.76 earned run average. This is his 27th career start in this ballpark for the former Yankee.
And he just keeps pounding Molina inside, but Molina just keeps turning on it and pulling it foul. He can't do much with the pitch other than pull it foul, but he's doing that on a pretty consistent basis. Let's watch Diaz and see if we can see him trying to go away. Yep, see him creeping out there in that outside corner. No sale.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and another long at bat for Molina. Molina, who missed 26 games earlier this year with an injury, is 4th in games played in St. Louis Cardinals history.
Musial #1.
Pretty sure.
Got to be, I would think. Stan the man.
36-year-old Yadier Molina. Beautiful night for baseball here in Pittsburgh.
Okay, I got the first now. See if you can use your machinery to figure out who's second and third.
Machinery?
Well, you got your device there.
Well, you asked, so I was going to try and...
Well, I got it without. I got number one without having to go to a device.
You said you said is Musial number one. I'm guessing. So I was trying to find out if you were correct.
I'm giving you the opportunity
and I found
to
out
say
you were
the
correct.
right thing.
So I was doing it for you, rather than leave you dangle, which you don't like.
I'm giving you the opportunity to do the right thing.
So Musial is number one. You were correct. Now the other second and third, we'll open that up to hashtag Bucks Booth. But don't look at your machinery. I don't know how you're going to be able to tweet us though without it.
Would Red Shandings be on that?
Difficult. Up the middle.
Like that. Worked him for a lot of pitches and then gets the base hit. So he basically did what he did last time, only this time it was a hit instead of a walk.
So it's first and second with nobody out.
Pitch out away, and Molina does what you're supposed to do. Try to hit it back through the middle.
Well, both times Molina has come to the plate, he's seen 9 pitches. 9-pitch walk in the first, and on the 9th pitch of this third inning, he singles.
And among other things that we're talking about was the fact that you want to get as much as you can out of Nova because you used a lot of your bullpen last night. What, 5 relievers to hold the fort and get the Pirates a 7-6 win.
The last time the Pirates retired the side in order was the third inning on Tuesday night. Base runners galore. And they have held the fort, but it was Jameson Taillon who pitched a 1-2-3 third inning against the Cubs on Tuesday. The last time a Pirates pitcher retired the side 1-2-3.
And last night, every inning, it seemed like they had the leadoff man on. Which makes it a tough way to start.
Out in front of DeYoung, 0-2. Paul DeYoung was drafted by the Pirates in the 30th round back in 2014. He chose not to sign with Pittsburgh. Instead, he attended Illinois State and majored in biochemistry. The Cardinals drafted him in the 4th round.
There's that shot of all these people again. Yeah, he's got to be tough to talk to, Greg.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to have your act together.
Yeah. And Nova gets him to chase.
Number 2, and it comes at a good time. That is a big time chase. That's guessing wrong.
At Little League Classic, Steve mentioned that Nova started for the Pirates against these Cardinals. The Mets and the Phillies will play in this year's Little League Classic in Williamsport.
Pirates beat the Redbirds 6-3. Remember how much fun you guys said you had going out there. Did you make that trip?
Did not. No. Did you make it?
No. Well, I don't make any trips.
Well, wait a second now.
No.
No.
You know,
did you make the trip?
I did not make the trip.
It was a simple question.
I watched it on TV.
Thank you very much. Ball one on Marcell Ozuna.
I don't have a full-time job covering the Pirates.
Nope, you don't. I try to get Ozuna here. And really, regardless of what Osuna's been doing this season or recently, he's still awfully dangerous. One of the reasons the Cardinals acquired him to boost the offense. At 37 homers, drove in 124 runs last year.
There's the rest of that sleeve.
He cut the sleeve and gave it to him.
Wow. Must be a clothing line that Marcell has.
One and two.
Chasing the two-seamer.
Nova trying to work around this traffic. Osuna's hit into 8 double plays. Jose Martinez has hit into a dozen, the most on the team. He's on deck.
He's got a lot going on there with the shin guard and the green sleeve and all the armor. Rather disjointed sartorial expression.
Osuna unhappy with himself there. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Count remains. Can you spot that?
That is something. The guy in the back of him didn't get the memo. He's got that with black stripes. It's all over the place. Starting to get a little concerned about that color.
Misses badly, 2-2 on this 27-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Marcell Osuna, a rookie with the Marlins in 2013.
Martinez. The Pirates at one time, when I was a young Pirate player, had a Jose Martinez. He was a shortstop. While being a coach for the Cubs.
Toward third, but foul. David Freese. Souvenir time.
How good are those seats right there? That's pretty cool to be right down there that close to the action. As we said so many times, no bad seats in this ballpark. Those are just exceptional. There's that famous look. Thanks, Pete, for that. The old-time shots you used to have when you had them back in the day. There's the Archer.
That very clever.
Oh my God! And Heavy. Heavy gets a call. The former Alvarez short.
And down on strikes goes Marcell Osuna. Well, Nova is really working and slowing it down, taking it pitch by pitch to execute.
And working downstairs and getting them to chase these balls that basically are unhittable. So last 2 batters, he has been a supernova.
Jose Martinez was robbed of a hit by Adam Frazier to end the first with runners on first and third and 2 outs. Martinez just added to the lineup. Tyler O'Neill scratched with groin discomfort.
Well, I hope Nova gets this batter, because this is a good thing for young Pirate pitchers to watch, Greg, that in a jam, got the first 2 men on, just slow it down. As you said, go pitch by pitch. Don't get caught up in the momentum and that particular pace. And just get yourself together, do what you do, and don't get caught up in what they're trying to do with the bats. Slow it down. Catch up with yourself.
Oh, 0-2.
And this is the funny part of pitching. Every once in a while, it can just kick into place. Something clicks into place. Every once in a while, something just goes haywire and it goes back out of joint. Right now, it seems like he's doing what he wants to do with the baseball in terms of selection and location. See if he can finish the deal. This is what you call trying to put the lid on an at-bat and a half inning.
1-2. We'll talk to Chris Archer in the bottom of this 3rd inning about his Pirates debut as he watches Ivan Nova. He was, as he's now probably looking for the headset. He knows he's going to be coming on, and he figures he knows Nova's got Martinez where he wants him.
But you got to finish the deal.
And in the air to right center field. And Marte is over, and it's going to drop and stay in play. A run in, and thankfully Yadier Molina was at first base. And at the age of 36, he's not able to even attempt to score, so it's tied on the Martinez double to right center.
And that ball just kept fading away from Starling Marte as he went down and got what was a pretty decent looking pitch and just hit it and kind of cut it away toward right center field. It just kept running away from Starling. Knows at that point he can't get it. It's just a matter of retrieval and hoping he can get it back in and stop Molina, which he did.
It has been a laborious third inning, as was the case in the first, so Ray Searage going to give Nova a breather here. Third double of the game for the Cardinals. They tied it up at 1. It'll be Jed Jerko, who struck out to start the second, coming to the plate with runners at second and third. And that's hit hard and past Freeze, and this is going to give St. Louis the lead. Another double. Jed Jerko scores Molina and Martinez, and it's now a 3-1 St. Louis lead.
That ball was smoked. And these Cardinals, after a couple strikeouts with 2 outs, just get big base hits. And the pitch count continues to rise as they break out with 3 runs here in the top of the third. And they're still in business. One pitch away from getting out of it, but Martinez got the double to right center and then another one down the corner. And this is looking more and more like it could be an early evening for Nova. But you know the Clint Hurdle wants to get some more out of him.
And he doesn't get that call. Ball 1. Jose Martinez just doubled in a pair, doubled in a run, and now Jerko doubles in a pair.
And this game is not out of hand, but just disappointing we couldn't get that third out here in the top of the third.
.31 pitch, third inning. Wong was on the disabled list and missed a dozen games, left knee inflammation. Had just 1 rehab game down in the minor leagues. Dexter Fowler broke his left foot last night, so they activate Wong for tonight's game. And he doubled in the second.
And that is pitch number 70.
As Jerko stays at second on that pitch in the dirt, and Nova normally that impeccable control is fighting it tonight. And line toward left center field. Frazier is over and makes the catch. Well done by Adam Frazier. 3 in, Cardinals up. We'll talk to Chris Archer in a moment. Sets, and this is old hat to him. He's done national games for ESPN. This is nothing for Chris Archer. Hey, but what about last night's start, Chris? How do you describe it?
Oh man, it was very unique. I've started a couple opening days down there in Tampa, and what I experienced last night was special, and I was happy to be part of it. Happy to be a part of this organization and this city.
And pretty amped up, maybe, to make that first start in front of all this, a lot of energy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, we're human out here, and it was my first time, you know, new spectrum, new catcher, new everything. But you know what? We got that win. I kept the team in the game the best I could. We got that win, and that's what this game's all about.
I want to ask you about your slider. I used to throw a lot of sliders, Chris, and it just looks like the old pure slider, the cut fastball that kind of gives you two pitches, a fastball and something that moves also. And I was really impressed watching it when you threw it where you wanted to. I know you fought it, and it fought you at times.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's you know, it's my go-to pitch, but I have been starting to use my changeup a little bit more and an occasional curveball, but my slider's always gonna be my bread and butter. And like you said, I can use it as a cutter to get off the barrel and get a ground ball, and I can manipulate it to get a little more depth to get a swing and miss. And I think working with the two great catchers and obviously Ray is going to be really tremendous for my growth.
Starling Marte as Wong makes a nice play. That brings up Gregory Polanco.
When you look around this ballpark tonight, and well, you were doing other things last night, but what about this ballpark being filled up in this setting? It looks pretty good from our angle.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I came here once last year, and it was just unbelievable, the amount of fans that you guys get, and the backdrop and everything about PNC is desirable. And like I said, having that support I had last night and being on that hill and them acknowledging how much I battled, even though it wasn't the greatest outcome, it meant a lot to me. And you guys are going to get the best out of me every fifth day. Believe that.
Well, what I saw last night, Chris, was the fact that it wasn't what you wanted to be, but this ball game or that ball game could have got out of hand, and you struck out some people in the second and third inning that showed me that you've got you're capable and you've got what we're looking for in this rotation.
Yes, sir. Well, the rotation is deep. I like these guys. Everybody has great stuff. Everybody has high-end stuff, and I'm looking to learn a little bit from them. Hope they take a few things from me, but I'll tell you this, the crowd chanting my name, the crowd behind me last night helped me get through those tough innings.
You know, Chris, as Polanco goes down, we were talking about that. Steve and I did radio last night and tried to describe that, but for 27,000 people, the second inning of your first start, as Molina comes to the plate, 2 strikes, the crowd, I mean, they started to stand anticipating a strikeout. I don't think we've ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, it felt really, really good. I'm looking forward to a lot more moments like that, and then hopefully those moments are in October.
Now, when you're on this mound, does this ballpark give you a different feel in terms of how you approach things as opposed to other ballparks? Is there anything unique when you went out there for the first time as a Pirate as opposed to being a Ray?
Well, they just wanted me to be me, and that was the most beautiful thing about coming over. They didn't have big plans to change anything or for me to do anything different. They want me to be me, and they think that's going to translate to success in this park and all the parks in the National League.
You brought it up before, Chris. Will we see more change of speeds away from the hard slider and the hard fastball as your career goes on? And not that you're a rookie or anything, but will we see more separation of speed?
Yeah, for sure. I think my last 8 to 10 starts, I started to show. Well, that's the end of the inning. If you guys want me on for one more half, I'll stay around. If not,
what a question.
Okay, I'll stick around one more half.
No extra pay. Nothing extra in your envelope.
No, sir. No, sir.
We'll be back with Chris Archer.
80.
Well, there you go. They're on.
80, yeah.
And we are on, thanks to the very gracious Chris Archer. Chris, I don't know how to say this, but you are a very unique individual in the professional sports world. I mean, a bunch of great guys, but you stand out. I mean, we knew that when you pitched for the Rays. We heard that all about you. Commissioner Manfred even pointed it out a couple years ago about how you are like should be the face of baseball, the way you interact with people, the way we showed you last night, how you went down the line high-fiving fans. How did you get this way?
I think it comes from my upbringing. Obviously, my parents are two special people. They adopted me pretty much at birth, and you know that selfless act alone taught me that I needed to repay that favor. And I have a great mentor, and I have some great friends back at home. So I learned I am who I am based off who they are, and my job, I feel like, is to reciprocate that unconditional love and that positivity to as many people as I can when I come in contact with them.
And respect for the game.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. I mean, this game, it's such a beautiful game. So many life lessons to learn from this game.
And Bader, they're going to get another double out of this as Frazier does a nice job to cut it off. Adam Frazier with a great try and a double by Bader. A leadoff two-base hit.
Doesn't anybody stop at first base anymore?
Apparently not. Brings up Austin Gomber. So, yeah, Chris, you're talking about the love of the game, and
yes, sir.
You said that leading up to the trade deadline, you said it was really tough for you because you watch the MLB Network. You're such a baseball fan. It was hard to take yourself away from it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I said this in the press conference, but this is my life's work. I care a lot about it, and it's nice to be with a city that's a straight sports city, with an organization that has a huge tradition in winning, a winning culture, a winning environment. And when I stepped in this clubhouse, I could feel that from each individual player, the excitement. Even before I stepped in the clubhouse, all the guys that reached out, it made me feel loved and feel welcome before I even stepped foot in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you've gone through this dance before, haven't you, around trade time?
Yeah, it's since the trade deadline 2016, my name's been floated out there, and I'm very grateful for the Rays organization, but I also know how they have to do business, and I'm glad to be to where this black and gold, which I've been corrected on very a few times.
Well
already.
done, well done. That's right.
But I'm very happy and very gracious to wear this black and gold for the next few years of my career.
You know, we talked about your slider before. You strike out a lot of people. How do you avoid falling into the trap of trying to strike out a lot of people and get back to the concept of pitching? Is that a trap sometimes when the strikeouts come?
It can be, and the one thing that I've learned over the past couple years is I take the strikeouts when they come or when I need them. But you know, in specific situations, I'll take early outs all day because I know being a strikeout pitcher, the pitch count can easily get elevated. So I'll take my early outs, but if there's runners in scoring position less than 2 outs and I need to get a punch out, I'll go for it. Or if I have a 0-2, 1-2 count, I'll go for it. But other than that, I'm trying to attack at all times. And again, last night wasn't the best display of that, but that's definitely how I've evolved over the course of my career.
Are you a guy that wants to eventually throw a bunch of complete games?
Well, I do.
kind of a trap question, but I know it's a different world.
No.
Diaz throws the ball into center trying to pick off Bader. And Bader winds up at third.
Well, no, I want to throw a CG every time I go out.
Good.
9 innings is the goal. So if I come up a little short and go 7 or 8, I'm staying in the game, giving my team high quality. But the game is very different, especially where I come from. You know, they were more content with me going 6 and getting into the bullpen. And when you have a great bullpen, that's okay. The guys we have down there, a lot of times it's an upgrade and stuff.
Austin Gomber going to bounce to Mercer. They're drawn in infield. There's one away.
I like the fact that you hesitate when we got a chance to get a big out.
Oh,
because every pitcher kind of holds their breath when you get outs when you need them.
Yes,
Speaking of that, Chris, by the way, tell us about your starting pitching colleagues like Nova.
Oh, yeah. Nova, I've watched him a lot. He started his career in the American League East, and He had some ups and downs, and he had that surgery. But to see what he's done in a Pirate uniform is impressive. I know he's had a good stretch here. He's still an above-average starting pitcher, in my opinion. But we're talented. Cool. I just learned about him. He's got nasty stuff. I know he's on the DL, and J-Mo, I actually faced him last year. I know firsthand how nasty he is, and Musgrove, and he's got high-end stuff. I could see him being a frontline starter for a long time, and Trevor Williams, he really knows how to pitch. So, again, I'm really happy to be a part of it. We've already had a lot of discussion. I hope that, you know, they can take some from me, but I'm definitely learning from them, without a doubt.
What kind of hitter are you going to be for us?
Hopefully I can put down a lot of sack bunts.
There you go. Now, are you going to take some of the old things that old pitchers tell you to do, guess fastball first pitch on occasion?
Well, I think my #1 goal is to make the pitcher throw 5 pitches.
Okay.
So we can tax him a little, get down the sack bunt, and you know, get a couple hits every now and then. But my #1 tool as an offensive player is speed. So when I get on those bases, be ready.
Now, do you like being now in the National League? And a base hit to right for Molina makes it a 4-1 game after the intentional walk to Carpenter. And first and second.
I definitely am a fan of National League. It's baseball at its roots. It's baseball at its finest. Everybody is incorporated. The double switch is challenging. It's still something I'm trying to figure out. But David Freese told me he was going to help me out with it one day when he's on the bench and not playing.
Explain it to you, I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to help me. He's going to help me understand fully what's going on there.
That's great.
Maybe last question, Chris,
Okay.
and thanks so much for spending some time with us. But in the National League, you're talking about looking forward to playing here. Is part of your approach as you go along and learn more about this league, working down and using the bottom part of the batting order as part of your strategy to get down to that pitcher's spot and maybe take advantage of working against pitchers?
Yeah, you know, when the time is right, if everything's going, I feel like I can attack anybody, 1 through 8, 1 through 9 in either league. So it really depends on the night. It depends on the situation. I'm going to trust Clint. I'm going to trust everybody, all my resources. But before I go, I just want to again thank the whole city for welcoming me and my family. The transition has been unbelievable. But like you guys said, I'm gonna let the fans get back to watching this game. But thank you very much, the Pittsburghians or Pittsburghers, however you say it. I feel like this is going to be something special here for years to come.
So do we, Chris.
Thank you guys.
Chris, thanks a million.
I really appreciate it.
Well, what a gem. Wow. Chris Archer. Pirates got a good one, as you can see and hear.
Hope he pitches here for 15 years, because if he doesn't, my job is in danger. So's yours.
Well, he's done it before. He's done national games. He did the playoffs a couple years ago as a broadcaster. So yeah, he's got it all.
It was a treat talking to him.
Yeah. And now back to the action here, and Pirates have bullpen action with 1 out and a 3-1 count on Paul DeYoung. We don't want this to get out of hand, and Ivan Nova really struggling here. Full count. It is Alex McRae. He's the long man.
Nova has to do to DeYoung what he did last time he faced him, strike him out. That would play very nicely here.
Better. 6, 4, and not sure what happened there.
It didn't look like a real urgent feed from Jordy over to second base. Now, I don't know if Harrison might have been late getting there. I'm not sure, but usually Jordy will unload quicker than that. No, I'm not sure either.
DeYoung doesn't run all that well. So I don't know.
And Josh was there.
Yeah.
On we go.
So now it's Osuna. Marcell Osuna, one of 2 strikeouts last inning for Nova. Nova has walked a couple. He's allowed 8 hits, 5 doubles.
And he's just shy of 90 pitches.
Martinez has swung against him. Nova probably not going to face the on-deck hitter. Jose Martinez was robbed of a hit by Adam Frazier in the first inning, but then doubled into the gap in right center last inning. Three and one, and a big pitch now. Pirates down by 3 as Clint Hurdle checks to see if McRae is ready. Yuki Rojas, the bullpen coach, answering on the other end.
And that's exactly what he was finding out, because this could be the last pitch of the evening for Ivan.
Another sliding stop. Freeze gets him. Cardinals pick up another. Thanks again to Chris Archer, who made his Pirates debut last night, was fired up. Cardinals up 4-1. Bottom half of the 4th, and Francisco Cervelli leads off for the Pirates.
You want to keep this together, Greg, because you really feel like you're going to get opportunities against Gomber. I just have that feel.
And Cervelli into right center field. The first baseman for the Pirates is on base for a second straight time against Austin Gomber.
People up on the concourse, that's a big indicator of a big crowd.
And left field rotunda. And yeah, you have standing room up there. So trying to put on a good show.
Check it out. It always looks good, but it looks better when it's full.
There's Elias Diaz. Popped up his first time.
Gomber has only gone past 3 innings once. The 3 innings was his major league debut against the Pirates. We talked about that. And then the gem that he threw against the Cincinnati Reds, 6 1/3. Other than that, it's been bits and pieces out of the Cardinal bullpen. So you wonder about endurance. That one time out, he was very good and into the 7th. But other than that, short outings.
Just a reliever for the most part this year, other than that one start.
But you and I both looked at their media guide in 2015. He was 15-3. I mean, talk about jumping up through an organization.
And very impressive. This guy wasn't even on the Cardinals' top 10 prospect list for a while. And now it's 3-1. Gomber, as we said, from a small Florida Atlantic University.
By the way, came into the game 22 innings, 11 walks. So maybe patience is one of the orders of the day.
John Mozeliak runs this ball club. And a ground ball. It's going to be a seeing eye single off the glove of DeYoung. And Cervelli going to take advantage and head to third. Great base running from Cervelli.
Yeah, great read as he was coming into second. Saw that man ball in no man's land. How about these catchers, huh?
There's only one catcher you're talking about. Are you talking about the first baseman?
Yeah, that's
Cervelli?
right. Who's on first?
Yeah, there he is. He's on third now.
I don't know.
Austin Gomber gives up the ground single. There you see Cervelli watching as DeYoung has it deflect off his glove, slows it down, and takes advantage.
Yeah. That's just a feel you have as a base runner. You know that ball's going to die, and neither entity can get to it. It's going to just die out there in no man's land.
Jay takes ball 1.
But to have Cervelli and Diaz hitting back to back,
yeah.
it's just
it
weird.
Looks weird, yeah.
And good here.
Infield at double play depth. And they're going to get 1. They're going to get 2. And the Pirates don't score out of it, which is the worst possible thing to have happen. A double play and you don't get a run out of it.
And you see Cervelli coming back to third base. At that point, it's a done deal because the ball was hit so sharply.
And usually you'll sacrifice that runner and let them throw him out, and so that appeared to be a little miscommunication. Worst possible scenario. Now you need a big 2-out hit because that stings.
Yeah.
Jordan Luplow is on deck.
They're setting up shop for a moment.
And the block by Molina.
You're taking one of those back to the blocks.
.62 pitches. Gomber threw 90 in that start against the Reds on the 24th of July. Taking that no-hitter into the 7th. That ball. Mercer thought was inside. Barrett calls it a strike.
There's that cutter you were talking about with Al Hrabowski coming in. As you see, Molina moves in, just a little cut to it. Gets the call.
The 74th Owl to be drafted. Florida Atlantic University Owls. The 35th pitcher to be drafted from that school since the program first got started in 1984. It's time for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Looking for a little two-out magic.
A 2-2 count on Jordy Mercer.
Continuing the Ozuna theme. Courtesy of your local parrot.
And towards shallow center field, and it's a base hit, and that's a big one for Jordy Mercer. They get that run. It's 4-2. Very large.
And it sounded like it might have broken his bat, Greg, the sound, but that doesn't matter. He got it far enough, and short enough to drop in. Coming in on the hands, but he got the hands inside, pushed it out to right center field. Get a big run. There it is, dropping in nicely.
Well, Gomber knows how big that double play was, and for Cervelli not to have scored. And now it's Jose Osuna rather than Luplow, and he doesn't waste any time with a pinch hit single to left. So Luplow on deck earlier, but Flinter will switch to Jose Osuna, and here comes Mike Maddox.
Yep, to put a comforting right arm on the shoulder. There we go.
Hand on left shoulder.
Sorry, left shoulder. Yeah, left-handed.
Check out our Barrel Automotive League leader stat. The teams that have hit the best with runners in scoring position. Those are great numbers for the Pirates. 272 in those situations with runners at second and or third base. That's the good part, the offense. The bad part is that for the second consecutive night, a Pirates starter actually going to make it 3, because you go back to what Nick Kingham did in his start on Wednesday before the off day. Kingham went just an inning against the Cubs. Chris Archer 4 1/3 in his Pirates debut, and Ivan Nova will go only 4 tonight.
Heavy load on the bullpen once again.
Adam Frazier has grounded out and struck out. See if he has a better at bat here. He bounced out early in the count, and here's this crowd again. They have really, going back to last night, talking to Chris Archer about it, incredibly enthusiastic and into it. And toward left center field, that ball's going to get down and head toward the fence. How about Adam Frazier? Mercer scores. Osuna scores. This game is tied up. Adam Frazier. It's 4-4.
Well, take your time, Corey Dickerson, because the young bucko is doing a fine job in left field for you. And that ball was perfectly sliced and nicely, slowly rolling to the wall, allowing Osuna, who doesn't have record speed, to get all the way around comfortably, out away, and sends it out away.
Man, he went to school. Those first 2 at-bats, he made adjustments. Frazier drives in a pair. It all comes with 2 outs following that disheartening double play. Jose Osuna chugging around the bags, gets the wave from Cora, and they will intentionally walk Marte to face Polanco.
Well, you're exactly right. That took the air out of the ballpark when Harrison hit into that double play, and the Pirates just tightened the belt and just went to work. Went to work.
2-strike hit by Mercer. Frazier doubles to the left center gap, and now Gregory Polanco with the bullpen now activated for the Cardinals. Well, in the last 2 nights, a very well-educated and enthusiastic crowd Mike Myers loosens, because they were looking to coax a couple of strikeouts out of Chris Archer last night. We talked to him about that in the second. That's exactly what happened, and they felt the time was right to get on board with Frazier. He doubles in a pair. It's pennant fever in the Berg.
You know what, Greg? Before the ball game, they played the anthem, a beautiful trumpet rendition of the anthem, and the people in this ballpark were singing. I haven't heard that in a while. They're singing the Star Spangled Banner, some kind of night.
Couple of strikes on Polanco last night. Gregory Polanco came to the plate in the first inning. That was with 2 men on base after a Frazier double and a Marte single. The Pirates were down 1. And it was a 2-run triple off the Clemente wall. The Pirates the lead in the bottom of the first. Now he has struck out looking twice tonight. Now you look, as we saw Frazier not happy with his first 2 at-bats. Does Polanco make the necessary adjustment here against the lefty Gomber? He's the 8th man to hit in the inning.
It's already a good, solid bottom of the 4th. It could get even better.
And he fought that one off. And the out is recorded at first as Carpenter hustled over to the bag. 3 in. 2-out action for the Buccos. 4-4. Starter available on the market, and another power arm in the bullpen, plus diving into the rare 11-game win streak, and has the Buccos back in playoff contention. Those stories and top plays debuting tonight after Pirates postgame. And we check out one of Chris Archer's tweets from last night after the game. What a game, what an atmosphere. You guys were beyond belief. Let's go. Chris Archer, so impressed by the atmosphere. Adam Frazier has to be impressed with what that man has done. Austin Gomber is not able to get that final out. 3 in, tie game, and now it's Alex McRae, the rookie. Made his major league debut on Wednesday and pitched 3 innings.
Back in the 3rd, the Cardinals did a lot of damage with 2 outs. So here we are back even at 4. McRae made his debut Wednesday against the Cubs, gave up a run. Looking pitch delivered right there on the knees. 10th round pick in 2014. He was up with the Pirates early, but did not pitch. Here he is. All of a sudden, he is in the middle of a viable baseball game. This is not mop-up right now. This is it's the real deal.
Yeah, this is high intensity stuff too. This is not just, you know, the other night when he made his major league debut, he provided Clint Hurdle with some innings, but the game was out of hand. The Cubs won it 9-2. This is a big crowd, big game. August Major League Baseball pennant race.
Yep. And you got to embrace it as an opportunity, not to be intimidated. As, all those people are looking right at you, Alex. They're looking right at you. Nothing happens until you turn it loose. Already Mercer, huge base hit. Might have broke his bat, but kept it going. Nothing wrong with 95 miles an hour either, Mr. McCarty. Big time stuff.
What a job Frazier has done, looking so much like the guy we saw when he first came to the big leagues, and last year much of the season when David Freese seriously said he thinks this guy could win a batting title someday with that swing.
And, you know, as hot as Dickerson was, this guy is just currently as hot.
Yeah.
Talking about Frazier and Freese. You just saw David. What you want right now, as much as anything from Alex McRae, is strikes. If they get something, make them earn it. Lean on your defense.
Three and two on Martinez. Doubled into the right center gap in the third. Ivan Nova gave up 4 runs in 4 innings. Martinez was not in the starting lineup originally. Tyler O'Neill was the right fielder, was scratched with groin discomfort.
Good looking pitch there, and Martinez stays alive.
Alex McRae grew up in the Milwaukee area. Jed Jerko, the Morgantown, West Virginia native, is on deck.
This will be interesting to see how Clint Hurdle plays this, Greg, because his bullpen has been strained.
Into right. Polanco. It's off the wall. Nice barehand play. Polanco's played right field brilliantly, but again, it's another double.
And a big time at bat for Jose Martinez.
Martinez's playing time has been drastically reduced over the past couple of weeks as the Cardinals look to improve their defense, and he has been below average at first base. He is out there swinging tonight, 2 for 3.
Polanco gets the perfect bounce, takes it barehand off that bounce, and does what he could, but another double.
2 for him, 6 for the Cardinals.
Well, strap yourself in. This could be another one. 8 runs already, 16 hits.
Broken bat, and that's a fair ball. Cardinals are going to get the lead right back. Again, Polanco plays it brilliantly. This time the ball's thrown past second. Jerko doubles. 5-4 St. Louis.
Right off the end of the bat, just nothing special except perfect location. Here we go.
Second double for Jerko.
Look at this location, way off the outside part of the plate. Not even close to being a strike, but he follows that cutter and just taps it down inside the chalk. And hustle again by Polanco. Good backup. You don't see that part, but nothing happens after that. Now Wong is talking to Jose Oquendo. The Pirates are having a conference. There's discussions all over the place.
Diaz went out there to talk to him, and Cervelli, the first baseman, and Josh Harrison, the second baseman, also join in. Jerko, second double. He's driven in 3. 7 of the 10 hits are doubles for the Cardinals tonight.
Are they going to want Wong to try to push a bunt maybe to move Jerko? There's nobody out. I'm guessing no. Well, no, guessed wrong. He shortened up. I didn't think with anybody. I thought, you know, with nobody out, they've got this young pitcher back on his heels.
And he foul tips that bunt. Sounded like they appeal it, strike.
You know, we need an out just to change the pace here.
He offered. Elias Diaz asks for the appeal.
McRae had 3 strikeouts in that outing against the Cubs.
And in the air to shallow left field, and that's going to drop in for a hit. And that might have broken a bat. Nobody out, first and third.
And close to getting out of hand.
Looking to see how they want to play this defensively. Bader is a guy that has a lot of speed. Tough man to double up, but the Pirates are going to play at double play depth.
Find some way to record an out. If it costs you a run, just to stop this momentum.
On Bader, he has singled and doubled. And not a double play ball. They'll get 1. Good stretch there by Cervelli. And 2 in. And it's 6-4 St. Louis. RBI for Bader brings home Jerko. Wong to second. Greg Garcia announced as the pinch hitter for Gomber.
So he goes 4 innings, giving up 4 runs. As did Nova.
Garcia showing bunt. Did he offer? And the third base umpire Lance Barksdale said he did not.
Very stylish action at home plate.
Pulled down the line. Oh, what a pick there by Francisco Cervelli. That was smooth.
That was amore.
Cervelli, his first start at first base.
Got the short hop and stayed with it. Had the glove in the right spot, and that is huge. The Cardinals, if he doesn't get there, they're still rolling along. In between hop.
Heck of a play.
Yep, that is.
I mean, I haven't mentioned him much, but he's just been fine over there at first. And that saves a run. And now Matt Carpenter with Wong at third.
I guess we can't walk him this time. It seems like every other at bat we're walking Carpenter.
Carpenter on base 4 times last night, was walked twice intentionally. Tonight he's been on base all 3 times. Once he was walked intentionally, once unintentionally by Nova, and he doubled to start the game. And he's facing the rookie righty Alex McRae. StatCast AI powered by AWS. See how they play Carpenter. Overshift, 3 infielders on the right side. Pulls it on the ground most times.
He really pulled that one.
Matt Carpenter, you know, Steve, when the Pirates last saw these Cardinals at PNC Park, that was toward the end of May. The opening game of that series, Matt Carpenter was hitting 199. And there were Cardinal fans wondering about Carpenter getting up there at the age of 32. And here he is, one of the best hitters in the league. And McRae able to strike him out.
Big.
Cardinals get the lead back. They're up by 2. All-Star Craft Beer, Wine, and Cocktail Festival at PNC Park next Saturday, August the 11th. Sample over 300 craft beers and wines, walk the bases, and much, much more. Ballparkfestival.com/Pittsburgh for tickets. Big crowd. And now looking for that Pirate offense again. Pirates were up 1-0 on the home run by David Freese in the second, but the Cardinals score 3 in the third, another in the fourth. Pirates answered with 3 to tie it in the bottom of the fourth. Cardinals get the lead back, top half of this inning, and now Dakota Hudson.
I don't know how he pitches. That's a great name, Dakota Hudson.
Yeah.
That sounds like a big league name.
Came up from AAA Memphis on July the 27th. Made his major league debut the next day against the Cubs. And one of the great moments you will ever see, and you can see it now on YouTube if you'd like, but when the manager of the AAA club, the Memphis team in the Cardinals organization, Stubby Clapp, went out to the mound to supposedly remove Dakota Hudson. Now, Hudson wasn't really sure, wasn't pitching all that badly, but here comes the manager, and the manager had a new baseball with him, and he hands it to him and he says, "This is for you. You're going to the big leagues."
How about that? How about
incredible moment?
Getting the call. Getting the call.
All kinds of stories about when players are told they're going to the major leagues, but that's a unique one. The manager goes to the mound to remove him so he can go to the majors.
Yep. I think the managers at AAA have such a delight in delivering that message, and they get creative with it.
And now Dakota Hudson throws out Freeze.
Well, we'll find out he can field his position. Makes a nice move after following through toward first base, reverses direction and gets it and throws it comfortably. Well, Cervelli got it going last inning when the Pirates put up a 3 spot. Well, you got to reach down deep once again. They won 7-6 last night and take at least 7 more tonight, or 7 tonight.
He's walked and singled. First start this season at first base. His first start at that position since April 20th of 2016. Dakota Hudson replaces Austin Gomber, who goes 4, gives up 4 on 7 hits. Cervelli led off last inning with a base hit. Having a great homestand. Two and two as he lays off that fastball a bit low, talking to Yadier Molina. Hudson, one of the top prospects in the Cardinals organization. Went 13-3 at AAA Memphis in 19 starts, 1 homer in 112 innings. And he gets Cervelli. And Cervelli says something to Diaz about the pitches of Dakota Hudson. A quick scouting report.
Sometimes they'll do that if a particular pitch impresses them. Bigger break than the traditional slider, perhaps, and any kind of movement on a fastball where a lot of sink to it or a lot of ride.
Movement there. 0-1. Elias Diaz 1 for 2. Hudson gets a lot of ground balls. And that sinking fastball. His ratio was the 2nd highest in all of AAA when he was pitching at Memphis. At the time of his promotion, his 13 wins led all of minor league baseball. And a pop-up. Carpenter. And it's 1-2-3 and out for Dakota Hudson.
Remember Elias Diaz wearing an outfit similar to a stormtrooper, and the reason why he has switched his equipment is very similar to what Greg and Steve have suggested earlier. That's what he wore earlier in the ball game. But the problem was that Pirates middle infielders Jordy Mercer and Josh Harrison had a hard time seeing the ball coming off the bat of the Cardinals hitters, so they just politely requested that Diaz change back to the darker colored equipment, and he was able to do so. So maybe he could wear it again sometime, maybe during the daytime, who knows? But that indeed is the reason why. Hard picking up that baseball, Greg.
Yeah, white baseball against
I don't think we'll see that again.
No.
I think we should save the video for old time's sake, because I don't think we'll see that again. For those very reasons, Robbie. We've heard infielders and outfielders alike talk about some backgrounds where maybe it's a hot sunny day and all the fans are wearing white t-shirts and it can be tough to pick up the ball. Well, they're very particular, understandably so. 1-2 the count on Molina. He's been on base 3 times, is facing now Alex McRae for the first time. There's Mercer. See, he was able to see that ball so easily off the bat.
Yeah, right, exactly.
1 away, it brings up Paul DeYoung. And the Pirates offering a military discount to all active duty, reserve, veteran, retired service members and their families, saving $10 on tickets to all Pirates home games. For more information, go to pirates.com/military.
You can't blame them for trying to make a fashion statement, though, behind the plate. You can't. You got to give it a try. It just didn't work. That's all. You take chances, and some work, some don't. But a white baseball against that chest protector.
Your favorite fashion statement by any former teammate?
Doc Ellis.
Player?
Oh, Doc used to make great fashion statements.
Not on the field, though.
Oh, no. Well, he did make one because they brought him into pinch run one time, and he ripped off his warm-up jacket he was wearing. He wasn't pitching, and he didn't have a Pirate jersey on. He had just a sweatshirt.
What'd they do? They had to call time and go get him a jersey.
Of course, yeah. And the game still was 2 hours and 20 minutes. But anyway, he ripped off this. He was so proud. You know, you begged to pinch run, and he went out there to stretched a little bit, ripped the jacket off because it was not a zipper. It was snap buttons, and ripped it off. And you got a jersey you'd wear under, just a sweatshirt you'd wear under your game jersey. So
timeout. Somebody go get Doc a jersey. And a walk to DeYoung with 1 away here in the 6th.
But I think one of Doc's finest hours, the Cubs had just called up a guy that had a lot of speed from AAA Iowa, and he's down in the bullpen, and they called him to pinch run. Doc was out on the mound, and this guy stretched and ran down, stretched and everything, and finally, after 5 minutes, touched first base, and Doc picked him off just like that. it was just really poetic justice.
Andy Van Slyke here at the ballpark. Saw a lot of Van Slyke jerseys tonight.
A lot of people. Okay, we're in the closet. Where'd I keep that Van Slyke jersey? Where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in
I know
that
I
trunk.
have one somewhere.
It's in the trunk over there.
I think his son Scott's now playing in Japan, if I'm not mistaken.
We saw him primarily in a Dodger uniform.
Yeah. And saving some bobbleheads, the Bob Walk bobblehead. That's the one where Bob's not falling off the chair. And then, of course, the Blast Sengi.
He's got 2 of them. I only got a half.
Yeah, really. There he is.
Yeah. The great thing is when I get to sign one, I got to sign it before he does, because if he signs it first, there's no room left.
Oh, deflects off of McRae. Oh, nice move by Josh Harrison. Nifty play. 360 spin.
What a recovery. That one gets a circle around it. You see that deflection, you think you're done as it bounces off the pitcher, and then, wow, you don't see that play made very often. You don't see that play. That's
boy, you got
that's like choreography.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah,
fabulous play.
That's an athlete making that play. They do these things. They spoil us with how good they are so often. They make errors, but when you see something like that, that is pretty special.
Jose Martinez now wants a home run. He's got a couple of doubles, both the other way.
Doesn't everybody in this team have
Yes. Most doubles since they had 8 back in April of 2016. 7 doubles tonight for the Cardinals.
Might be hearing some loud background noise now as the fans get the wave going here. And it's a big, big crowd. A lot of people involved.
Oh, hard hit but foul.
Fans are revved up, and we're not too far away from, you'll hear also in the background a huge fireworks display from the regatta that's scheduled tonight. So it's going to get noisy. It already is. And we can hope the Pirate Bats can make some more noise.
And Alex McRae, meantime, trying to get a final out. This is his second appearance in the major leagues. Pirates 10th round pick out of Jacksonville University. He was at one time the 4th best prospect in the Atlantic Sun Conference. Full count on Jose Martinez.
Going to have to keep an eye on McRae too, because that's 40 pitches now as he tries to complete his second inning.
He was 3-8 in 18 starts at AAA Indy. Martinez first at bat, lined out to Adam Frazier with 2 men on and 2 outs in the first inning against Ivan Nova. Then he doubled in a run as he drove it into right center field in the 3rd. Started the 5th inning with a double off the wall in right. Martinez with 63 runs batted in.
We talked so many times about finishing off an at bat, and I still really don't know if that's something you're born with or you try to learn along the way as a pitcher. But just getting it done, getting to 2 strikes isn't enough. You just got to finish it.
And he walks him. Second walk of the inning. Jed Jerko coming to the plate. Clint Hurdle trying to get 2 innings out of McRae. He'll pinch hit for him in the bottom of this 6th.
Forget about finishing off an at bat. Finish off a half inning right here.
Needs 1 more out, and Jed Jerko has a pair of doubles. And he's driven in 3. Jerko's hitting .341 this year with runners in scoring position.
You cannot give up anymore. You've got to keep yourself within 2. This is a big time at bat. Might not be the last one, but right now you can get it done. Could have got a call there.
Ray Searage calls time. Pirates pitching coach. Disappointing start tonight for Ivan Nova. Just 4 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, a couple of walks. Clint Hurdle sending Ray Searage out, and Ray is trying to relax McCray. A big smile from the Pirates pitching coach. Nissan Road ahead. The homestand comes to an end tomorrow afternoon. Trevor Williams for the Pirates against Jack Flaherty. Coverage starts at 1 o'clock. Williams will look for win number 10. Flaherty 4-6.
And Ray Searage might be telling Alex McCray, listen, this is you. There's nobody warming up, and you've got to get this thing done. And this is a tough pitch right now because Jerko knows that this young man is struggling. Chances are he's going to see a fastball. You hope it's a good one if he throws it.
And it's not a good one. It's 3-0.
And now you got to be careful. You can't be guaranteed that Jerko's not going to be given the green light here. I mean, there's a good chance with the wildness he's seen, but you never know. Looking for the big swing.
And he swings and he pops it foul, back and out of play.
Yeah, there it was. 3-0 green light. Sometimes you just look for that big swing and put the ball game out of hand. He's still in a great position.
Walked him, and now they're loaded. He's walked 3 in the inning. And it is Colton Wong to the plate.
Go right back to last night when Chris Archer in the second and third inning was able to reach back and get some strikeouts in tough situations to leave all kind of Redbirds scattered around the bases, and we need a huge out right here.
And into the right side, knocked down. Harrison can't field it cleanly. Run scores. Jay Hay almost made an impossible play, but now the Cardinal lead is up to 3 at 7-4 as Colton Wong, just off the disabled list tonight, has 3 hits. DeYoung scores.
Full extension for Josh Harrison. And just couldn't get the leather around that ball, and then scrambling. Not happening after that. And it is from a different angle. No chance after the ball got out of the glove. And we're still in that situation.
Bader to left. Frazier puts it away. Another run in for the Cardinals. Their lead is 3, heading to the bottom of the 6th.
WPIAL softball championship teams were honored on the field. In single A, it was West Green. They not only won the Whitfield title, but they also won the PIAA title with a win over Williams Valley. Laurel High School beat Fraser 1-0 to win 2A. Southmoreland won 3A with a 12-1 win over South Park, and the Scotties took home their first title in school history. In 4A, it was Bell Vernon overcoming a 7th-inning deficit to beat Elizabeth Forward to win 5-4. In 5A, it was West Allegheny beating Thomas Jefferson 4-2. They repeated as 5A champs. And in 6A, how about this, Greg and Steve? Hempfield won it. Not only the Whitfield title, but they pulled off the rare three-peat as PIAA champs thanks to a walk-off double by Emma Hoffner. Now the Spartans are the first team in Whitfield history to win 3 straight PIAA softball titles. So really cool stuff, and really cool they got to come down here on the field to be recognized as they all deserved.
Well, that's a strong program.
Yeah. For sure.
That is a very strong program.
There, the fireworks begin. And then
that's not the helicopters. That's
yeah,
fireworks from the regatta.
Yep, regatta fireworks at the point.
So time for some bottom of the 6th fireworks over here in the North Shore.
Ball and a strike. Jay Hay has doubled and hit into a double play. On deck is Jordy Mercer, and then see a pinch hitter right down the middle. Dakota Hudson. It's Harrison to swing and miss. Corey Dickerson activated off the disabled list today, and we could see him bat for Alex McCray. Down 3. Middle game of the series.
Not out of hand by any means. Pittsburgh sky gets lit up once again.
What a view that is.
Yeah. We live up on Mount Washington. It looks like you look. Those explosions are coming right at you at eye level. There'll be a bunch of people up there and up by the statue of George and the Chief. George Washington and Chief Gayasuda.
Who?
Chief Gayasuda.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not making it up. The Chief's a big name in Sharpsville. Really? I mean, they gear a lot of their festivities around celebrating the Chief. Sharpsburg, I'm sorry. Sharpsville, a little further north. Thank you. Sharpsburg.
Oh, stabbed by Hudson. Well, Harrison is retired. He'll bring up Jordy Mercer.
I finally get you to validate something I know is true.
No,
no,
not at all. I know you know it's true.
Okay. There's the pick by Hudson, and he has retired the first 4 batters he has faced. After some very impressive work in Memphis that Greg was mentioning.
Jordy Mercer takes ball 1. He's been walked intentionally and singled. Dovydas Neverauskas was up. And we aren't going to see a pinch hitter for McCray. Mercer to left. Tomorrow, Pirates Cardinals 1:35, kids 14 and younger receive Topps baseball cards, and every Sunday includes the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone out on Federal Street before the game. After tomorrow's game, kids can run the bases right on the field at PNC Park, presented by Rivendell. Go to pirates.com/kidsdays.
Now the Topps baseball cards. We all grew up with them. Some of those kids might have been out playing catch after the game last night. Lucky enough to bring my grandson and one of his buddies out. They had a great time. Love the win.
Alex McRae is thrown out. The ball was almost thrown over Carpenter's head.
Brought to you by Barrel Automotive. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find a location near you. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
Enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets. Enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app. Now the Pirates were down 4-1 going into the bottom of the fourth inning. They scored 3 to tie it. And the Cardinals right back got the lead with a 2 spot in the 5th, another in the 6th, and now Alex McRae faces Dakota Hudson.
Third inning of work, giving Clint Hurdle relief for his bullpen arms.
Two count on Hudson. McRae gets Hudson.
Nicely done.
Pirates started the day 4 back of the Braves for the second wild card. And Atlanta is trailing the Mets 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Milwaukee Brewers began the day a game back of the Cubs in the Central. They are leading Colorado 8-2 in the 8th inning. Cubs were 5-4 winners earlier today at Wrigley over the Padres. Kyle Hendricks won his 8th. Reds won game 1 of a day-night doubleheader in Washington, D.C. Nats are winning the nightcap. Now they play Matt Carpenter. Trey was finally able to get Carpenter out. He struck him out to end the 5th after Carpenter had reached each of the first 3 times he's come to the plate.
There's still a good bit of time left, but you would really like to see a 0 put up here in the top of the 7th. 3 is going to be tough enough to catch. That hurt. Right above the knee. Doesn't want to get back in there right away, but that's the way it works. Everybody give him a little time. Here we go. We do not need another free pass. What's that, 6 so far tonight? We count them differently, but
Who, you and I?
yeah.
No.
The point down or something. What do you, the point?
The point by when the intentional walk. Yeah, I don't give a pitcher on his ledger an intentional walk when all it is the manager telling the umpire he's walking him, and there's no even throw. It doesn't make any sense. So you're right. You can count that. I won't. So he's walked 3 and Nova walked 2, and Clint Hurdle walked 1.
How do you how do you rectify that on your scorecard? You're not going to tell me, I know.
No, I put I just disregard the intentional walk.
But don't you have to account for everything that happens during the course of the game?
No.
No.
All right.
That's my bad then. I thought you cared.
Yadier Molina.
He cares.
With a 2-out single, yeah, I'd say he's on base for the 4th time tonight. 3 hits. He was walked by Nova after going 1 for 6 last night.
Still got that streak going, Greg. No 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, crazy.
3 up, 3 down.
That puts a lot of stress on a pitching staff.
Does it ever?
And it lengthens these ball games in terms of time of game. And again, going back to Tuesday night, Jamison Tyone retired the Cubs in order. Every inning since then, opponents have had at least a base runner against Pirates pitchers. And now Marte will make the catch for the final out. No getting down to cases here. Head to the bottom of the 7th. Just 3 more shots. Need 3 runs. Long fireworks display for the regatta. For the point. And as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment later in tonight's game.
Okay, now time for us to make some noise.
It'll be the top of the Pirates batting order against Dakota Hudson.
Yeah, who's been very impressive. 2 innings of clean work, 6 up, 6 down. Let's take a look at the Pirate bench. Fans of all ages. Third inning of work for Dakota Hudson.
Frazier, 2-run double in the 4th.
You wonder in these kind of situations, as you take a look at the Cardinal bullpen, that the Cardinals have been struggling, looking for pitching like everybody else, maybe thinking they found something in this young man.
Frazier drives one toward left. Osuna. So 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Dakota Hudson, one of the top prospects in the organization, drafted in the 1st round, a supplemental 1st rounder 2 years ago. He'll turn 24 years old next month. Mississippi State product, just retired another former Bulldog in Adam Frazier.
It's a quick trip up through the organization.
And this is lifted to center. Easy for Bader. And 2 quick outs. Marte 0 for 3. Gregory Polanco 0 for 3.
This is pretty impressive work.
Dakota Hudson, his 4th appearance tonight in the major leagues. Unscored upon. And almost 6 innings with just 1 hit.
And getting it to home plate in a hurry.
And to second, Wong. 3 perfect innings for Dakota Hudson. In line to get a big win for the Cardinals. baseball plays at the plate. Going back to last night, the throw by Gregory Polanco nabbing Matt Carpenter. David Freese with a play at the plate last night, and tonight a high throw. And Harrison Bader a little bit late trying to get to second, so the Pirates get him in a rundown. Then Jordy Mercer able to throw out Colton Wong attempting to score on that play. Polanco has played excellent defensively out in the outfield last couple games especially, and David Freese, Jordy Mercer solid on the infield. Marcell Osuna at the plate. Still out there, Alex McRae.
Number 4. And actually, good news at first base. We haven't had to mention too much about Francisco Cervelli. He's made the plays.
Yes, yep. First start at first base this season. First since April 20th, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Out of San Diego.
Out of harm's way behind the plate.
He had 5 career starts as a Yankee at first. Three and 1. Marcell Osuna is 0 for 4. Full count. Jose Martinez to follow. 13 hits for St. Louis.
Almost as many full counts.
And Osuna will reach for the first time tonight.
4th walk.
Gray walked 3 in the 6th. Busy night for Martinez. For a guy that wasn't in the starting lineup originally.
I think early, I think it was still tonight, when you mentioned he had hit into 12 double plays.
Going to take all the way. Dovydas Neverauskas, who was up earlier, now it's loose again. When you think about last night, the fact that the Cardinals collected 15 hits, scored 6 runs, and they certainly could have and felt like they should have scored more. They left 16 men on base as the Pirates won 7-6. They've stranded 11 so far tonight. So 27 men on in a 2-game stretch so far. It's been over 4 years since they've left this many men on base over a 2-game stretch, and we're still going here. 2013, they left 28 men on base in a 2-game stretch against the Cubs. And this wild pitch will allow Osuna to go into scoring position. And it's 3-2 on Jose Martinez.
He just held on to it too long and paid the price. Another 3-2 count. To go along with what you're saying, the Pirates are so fortunate to win that game last night. And you're happy for that with the way things are going tonight.
Should retire Martinez. Runner at second is going to tag. Marte will throw toward third, and no reason for Osuna to attempt to move.
Fun throw for Starling. Nothing, no real risk. Just turn it loose. Get some oohs and ahs usually on that kind of throw. He's got that strong an arm. Now Clint Hurdle's going to make a move.
Alex McRae will go 3 1/3 innings. And we will see Neverauskas.
May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pirates trailing here 7-4. Runner at second for the Cardinals in the eighth, one out. 32,000 plus on hand here. As Alex McRae went 3 1/3, gave up 3, responsible for that runner at second. Dovydas Neverauskas is recalled for a 4th time yesterday.
Strikeouts are good. The walks not looking so good. Opponents hitting .339.
Didn't give up a run over his last 14 innings at AAA Indianapolis. And a fly ball by Jerko to Marte.
Pitch one out. Another strong throw over. Off that arm.
So we'll bring up Colton Wong with 2 outs. We send along a belated birthday wish to John Martinchuk. Nice letter from John. He's talked to Joe and Steve about the memorabilia he has at his home. Said April 15th, 1947, he was there to see Jackie Robinson make his break in the big leagues.
That's a while ago. He's been a baseball fan for a long time.
Happy birthday, John.
Hall of Fame.
Pirate. A lot of Bucko Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Including one-time GM there, Branch Rickey. Speaking of Jackie Robinson.
Look, one of the great names, Rabbit Moranville.
Yeah.
Rabbit Moranville.
Rabbit Moranville. And there is Cervelli to make the play. 2 more shots for the Pirates, down 3, heading to the bottom of the 8th.
Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
7-4. That's the rally dance. Jairo Munoz takes over in right for Jose Martinez. And the new pitcher is Mike Myers.
Good to get Hudson out of there. Numbers for Mike Myers, a couple of wins, ERA under 4.
Freese homered in the 2nd inning, gave the Pirates a 1-0 lead. After that, Francisco Cervelli walked against the starter Austin Gomber. Elias Diaz then popped up for the first out. Then Josh Harrison doubled. And remember, that double bounced over the wall. Big break for the Cardinals because it forced Cervelli to go back to 3rd. They wisely walked Jordy Mercer intentionally to face Ivan Nova. They struck him out as Freese is struck out. And then Adam Frazier came up with the bases loaded and Gomber able to strike him out. So the Pirates settled for that solo homer from Freese. Cardinals picked up 3 in the 3rd against Ivan Nova. They sent 7 men to the plate. Another run in the 4th inning. RBI single by Yadier Molina scored Harrison Bader. Francisco Cervelli started the bottom of the 4th inning with a base hit. Pirates answered with 3. Jordy Mercer 2 out, single, brought in Cervelli. And Francisco Cervelli on base for a 3rd time tonight. His 2nd hit brings up Elias Diaz. Both starters lasted only 4 innings. Both gave up 4. Dakota Hudson, 3 shutout innings. Alex McRae gave up 3 and 3 1/3.
Hudson was spotless. 9 up, 9 down, 1 strikeout. That's his line.
Diaz 1 for 3. One ball, 1 strike. Mike Myers, 3rd pitcher to work for the Cardinals this evening. Grove City, Ohio. 3rd round pick 5 years ago. Diaz checking in on that pitch with home plate umpire Ted Barrett.
We'll say yes, it was a strike. We'll say it every time. It stops the conversation.
He evens it up.
Looking for base runners.
Yep. And find a way. Get on. Josh Harrison on deck.
Say for the Cardinals, a big story tonight is Hudson. Dakota Hudson stopped Pirates cold for 3 innings.
And 3-2. Big pitch now. Coming up. Shout out to a former Pirate local scout and batting practice pitcher. Haven't heard from him for a while. Got a great card from him. Said to say hello to everybody. John Krisofi.
Yeah.
Lives in Du Bois.
Yeah.
He was at the ballpark recently with the Point Park College, Delta Phi Kappa's 50th reunion. Or as Pro used to call him, Gaddafi. This ball's chopped toward the pitcher, Myers. Gets him. And Cervelli on to second, 2 outs. And they'll bring up Jay.
Well, we were acknowledging people. Had a chance to run into a great Pirate fan up at Giant Eagle up in Green Tree, Mary Regan. She's been following the Pirates. Couldn't have been kinder in her words for the Buccos that she's rooted for a lot of years. Mary, so nice to meet you today. Saying hello to a lot of Bucco fans recently. All this good run the Pirates have been on.
Well, base hit by Harrison would make this interesting. Get Cervelli home, make it a 2-run ball game.
Yeah, don't have to get them all at once.
He chases.
Yeah, not much you could do with that one.
The Cardinal closer is Bud Norris. That was not Bud Norris. It was a lefty, Chasen Shreve, loosening. Getting ready for perhaps a Corey Dickerson or a Colin Moran should we get past Mercer. Mike Schild looking ahead. Two and two. Jay's a tough man to walk. He swings that bat. Josh Harrison has a total of 11 walks unintentionally.
But a good take there.
It's a lot of plate appearances for only 11 walks.
Gets his money's worth. Jordy Mercer, big base hit earlier.
Wow, he almost went. Yadier Molina knows all about Harrison. He kept keeping that ball down and away and figured to get him to chase. Almost did. A rare free pass to Jay.
That close as he shuts it down in time. Well, the umpire said he did.
(7-4) ball game. First and second, 2 outs. Jordy Mercer comes to the plate. 32,473 on hand on a Saturday night. Hoping to see the Pirates now rally. They were all fired up when the Bucks scored 3 to tie it in the bottom of the 4th.
And a lot of them still hanging in there. They got rewarded last night.
Molina fires to second. Cervelli says, "What are you doing?"
It's supposed to be a fraternity of catchers. Maybe he's upset that Cervelli's playing first base. He's no longer a catcher tonight. Francisco dancing off a little bit. They give him a try. Whether you get back safely or not in those kind of situations, it's a panic moment.
You see Mercer react to that strike call. 0-2 pitch now coming. That one was further away than the other. And Jordy Mercer. Oh, a nice play there by the shortstop. Paul DeYoung to rob Mercer of a hit. And the final out at second. Head to the ninth. 7-4. Jordy Mercer on 2 strikes. That delivery from Myers.
But this is a real good play by the shortstop. Way up and back a second. The flip back has to be just perfect. And they get it done. That's a big play.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo look. DeYoung shoveling it to Wong.
That's not easy. He made it look a lot easier than it was.
Harrison Bader leads off the 9th for the Cardinals. RBI ground out in the 5th. Productive night for him.
Nebraska has come out of the bullpen throwing strikes. A couple of quick outs as he came into the ball game with 1 out and 1 out in the 8th.
A man from Lithuania. In line to right, Polanco there. Nebraska's riding that shuttle back and forth between Indy and Pittsburgh. 1.14 ERA in 29 appearances for the AAA club in Indianapolis.
Maybe got it figured out down there.
Jairo Munoz first at bat, came on to play right field in the bottom of the 8th. Munoz went 3 for 4, started at second base last night, had a second inning RBI double, was on base 4 times and had a tremendous catch in the bottom of the 8th inning with a couple of men on base after the Pirates had scored the go-ahead run. Starling Marte sent him back to the wall in right, otherwise could have been a laugher at the end. He kept it close with that catch in right. Felipe Vasquez pitched the scoreless 9th to earn his 25th save. Bottom of the 9th, the Pirates will have a pinch hitter to start against Bud Norris.
Yeah, he's getting loose.
That'll be Adam Frazier, Starling Marte. Currently a safe situation with the 3 runs down. And Corey Dickerson studying Bud Norris, the scouting report. What he can expect to see from the veteran righty.
20 saves was built so far this year, 44 innings.
There's Freeze. The second out.
Nebraska is doing his job so far. 4 down.
Well, it would be a big addition to this bullpen if Neveraskis has indeed figured it out. And Steve talked about that arm he's got. He's got really good stuff.
Hurdle has seen bits and pieces of that, as has Tommy Prince and Ray Searage. And so many times the stuff has got to be matched by the control. Stuff can be enhanced by good control. Been that way for a long, long time.
Good test for him here with Carpenter.
He is. He just always seems to be such a tough out. You get him sometimes, but it never seems like it's easy.
One ball, one strike. Carpenter to right. And Matt Carpenter hits a home run to make it a 4-run game. Carpenter's 28th, just over the Clemente wall. It is 8-4 St. Louis. 28 home runs
Done
for
it
Matt
again.
Carpenter.
Done it again. There's the spin of the curveball, and he just goes down and gets under it. And hits it just far enough to give the Cardinals a little more insurance.
Matches his career high. And he and Nolan Arenado now lead the National League with 28 home runs.
It's hard to imagine what you were talking about earlier in the game, Greg, that he was hitting 1-something when we saw him in May. It's just hard to imagine. Oh, similar story to some extent that Polanco has done. They figured out something. Figured out. Polanco moved away from the plate. I don't know what Carpenter figured out, but he figured it out.
Boy, nice catch out there on the fly ball by Carpenter that just did clear the Clemente wall. The Thompsons, how about that? Dylan Phoebe on hand from Ohio. Well, makes the task even tougher. Now down 4. And tomorrow, Pirates Cardinals. Jack Flaherty for St. Louis, Trevor Williams for Pittsburgh. 1 o'clock Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason. Will the Pirates be looking for just a series win, or can they rally tonight and think about a sweep tomorrow? Well, Bud Norris not a safe situation now for the closer.
Well, maybe we can get one of those situations where we've seen some closers relax when they come into a game when a save is not on the table. You've seen it happen. Not on a regular basis, but we've seen it.
Nice ovation as Tim DeBacco, the public address announcer here, announced the pinch hitter. Corey Dickerson off the disabled list today, had that hamstring tightness. Didn't waste any time. Anxious to get going again. Corey Dickerson grounded that ball just foul. Dickerson's .318 average is second in the National League batting race. It'd be fun to watch the scoreboard for the next few weeks as the Pirates jockey for position to try and win the division, and if not, get a wild card spot. And side story is Corey Dickerson trying to win a batting title.
Remember how we followed it when Freddie Sanchez was chasing after one?
Christian Yelich was 3 for 4 tonight for Milwaukee. He's up to 326 to lead the league. Before being placed on the disabled list, Corey Dickerson had a 6-game hitting streak going. And the Brewers won it 8-4. Well, the Brewers keep pace with the Cubs. They are a game back of Chicago. The Pirates would fall to 7.5 back and back into a 3rd place tie with the Cardinals unless they have a rally here, a big one here in the bottom of the ninth. And to center field, Bader. One out. Dickerson probably be in that starting lineup tomorrow. There's a pinch hitter tonight and flies out. Frazier, that 2-run double in the 4th.
And if Dickerson's in there, what do you tell Adam Frazier, who's been on fire? Unless you can find a spot somewhere else for him tomorrow afternoon, it's possible.
He can play a bunch of positions. Outfield goes DeYoung. 2 down. Well, the other thing too, not only do you want to try and rally, but at the very least you want to try and make the closer work so that, even though I'm sure Mike Schill would go to him tomorrow, make him throw some pitches tonight. But right now it's been easy. 2 up, 2 down, 6 pitches for Bud Norris.
That 3 spot in the 4th for the Pirates has been it. That's it. Just what, 2 base runners since then.
The Pirates will be looking for a strong, long start tomorrow because 3 in a row. The Pirates starters did not give the Buccos innings. Nick Kingham on Wednesday, just 1 inning. Chris Archer last night, 4 1/3. Nova tonight, 4. Maybe up to Trevor Williams tomorrow to go deep. And Marte toward the line and right. Foul.
Tough playing catch-up baseball. Tough on everybody. Your starter, your pen, your hitters.
This is the first time in a while that the Pirates apparently aren't going to win a game after scoring first. They score first this year. The Pirates coming into tonight 40-15. The David Freese home run in the 2nd gave them a 1-0 lead. But the Cardinals 8 runs, 14 hits, and still leaving a dozen men on. And here's Bader into right center. 1, 2, 3 for Norris, and the Cardinals even the series.
And again, not much action from the Pirate bats after the 4th inning. They put up the 3 spot, and then that was it. So this ball game belongs to the Cardinals and their bullpen.
And Dakota Hudson picking up the victory. He is 2nd in the big leagues in a handful of appearances. Alex McRae suffered the loss. He gave up 3 runs and 3 1/3 in relief of Ivan Nova, and that really was the difference. The middle innings, Hudson shut it down. Pirates couldn't. Matt Carpenter's insurance homer. An 8-4 final. We go out to Dan Potash and Michael McHenry.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Well, we saw last night the Cardinals offense leaving 16 runners on base. 4 of them actually reached third without scoring. Didn't think that would actually happen again, but as the guys just said upstairs, they left 12 men on base. But tonight they scored 8 runs, and that was what they needed to top the Buccos 8-4.
Yeah, they had 13 hits. They had 7 walks. Colton Wong came off the DL, was absolutely fire. Martinez didn't play yesterday, only got 1 at bat. He had a couple hits. Jericho, who the Pirates cannot figure out, got 3 RBIs, 2 hits, had a walk. I mean, they swung the bats great once again tonight. They got to figure out a way tomorrow to slow him down, and the perfect guy in Trevor Williams on the mound. So I like our chances to take the rubber match.
Yeah, we'll take a closer look at what Trevor Williams has to bring to the table a little bit later. But first, our Miller Lite Hold True moment. Reliever Dakota Hudson did not know if he would factor into tonight's game, but when his number was called, well, he did not disappoint. Going 3 innings, no hits, 1 strikeout. Michael, he was all that in the bag of chips.
Yeah, he was outstanding. He came in against 2 offensively minded teams through the first, 14 innings of this series, or 13 innings of this series, and he came in and shut the door. Had perfect 3 innings, made 3 great plays on the mound, played his position well, really shut the door for the Buccos, and there was no offense until Myers came in and 2 guys got on in the 8th, so he really slowed everything down for the Buccos.
And with the Cardinals' victory tonight, they pull even with the Pirates for 3rd place in the NL Central Division. We are just getting started on Pirates postgame. You'll hear Clint Hurdle's postgame comments. We'll also take you inside the clubhouse to hear from the Buccos as well. Extended highlights and analysis from Michael McHenry. We'll also check in on the 2 teams the Bucs are chasing in the Central. That would be the Cubs and the Brewers. That and so much more coming your way live from PNC Park on Pirates postgame, presented by Allegheny Health Network.